Hello everyone and welcome to Bantu Heritage. My name is Matema Dombo, the man behind Bantu Heritage. Welcome to another episode of Coventry Transport Museum. Those who are coming for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Those who have already subscribed, welcome back to another episode of Coventry Transport Museum. Please share, like, and let's grow the channel together. In this episode, I'll start off on military hardware. This vehicle is from 1968. Specifically made for the army. This was designed as an amphibious vehicle, meaning that it could also go into water, and also on land. It could be used in water, it could also be used on land. That's why they call it an amphibious vehicle. Versatile, because when wars are being fought, versatility is very important because you never know where you go. So this vehicle in 1968, the Alvis Stalwart, was manufactured for the army. It could carry 5 tons load. They say it could carry 5 tons through land, on land, and also it could also go in various different terrains, including also in water or through rivers. It could cross rivers and then carry up to 5 tons. 1968. So I think they have now more modern vehicles, which the army are now using, and this one is now resting in Coventry Transport Museum. Look at that. Another military vehicle here. This is from 1960. Can you imagine? It's called a Humber Pig. 1960s. They said this was used from the 1960s until the 1990s. It was in use in wars around. It was still being used. The Royal Ulster Constabulary, which is the Northern Ireland Police, used this vehicle from the 50s until the 70s. So yeah, this might have been involved in combats in Northern Ireland during the Sinn Féin squabbles. When I was growing up, I remember very well the war in Northern Ireland. So this is what the army was using and the police. This one is a 1968 Daimler Ferret Scout car. Oh my God. It's now small size for scouting. First introduced in 1952. So it's not a modern army vehicle. It's 1952. That's when this was first introduced. They said this was manufactured or designed mainly for speed and agility. They say about 4,000 of these were manufactured by 1971. Production was complete. So the production of these vehicles ended around 1971, but 4,000 of these vehicles have been made or manufactured for the army. So they said this was, it came into service with the British Army in July 1958 and was used until 1988. So it was in use with the British Army for a good 30 years. Very interesting. In this tray, this is a soldier combat body armor and helmet, and they say what is in that tray was used in Afghanistan, the conflict in Afghanistan. That's where that is coming from. And there is a company in Coventry, NP Aerospace, is the one where is the one which manufactured this gear for the army. So it's now in the museum here. It was used by British Army personnel in the Afghanistan combat. The Buccaneer there, another military hardware. This was during the time of the Second World War. This was 1944. This was a Dingo Scout car. It was manufactured by Daimler. It went into service in 1940. And the manufacturing or the assembling of these vehicles went on until 1944. And they say over 6,600 of these were made. This one in particular, which we are looking at, it was made it was built in 1944. And they believe it saw, or it was used in the last stages of the Second World War, which ended in 1945. Another military vehicle here, guys. Can you just see the steel wheels and the rubber? This military vehicle is a 1916 model, meaning that during the First World War, this is the type of vehicles which were being used by the British Army in the First World War, because this one was a 1916 model right in the middle of the First World War. Look at the door handles. (1916) model. It had no windscreen. So if you see army vehicles now plying our roads, some of them in barracks, or some of them being used in wars around the world, you can really see how the manufacturing of these vehicles has evolved. We now go to buses, transport industry. That is this is a 1948 bus. So in 1948, in England, these are the buses they used to ride to work and to go around cities. This is a 1948 coach. These were in use in the 50s. These were coaches taking people long distances. However, we have local buses now, double-decker buses. That was a 1953 double-decker bus.
Watch this, watch, look. Oh, and it. Tom! Tom, this is really fun. It's really fun. We get to tip the bus over.
1953.
Me too. Theo, look what's inside.
So side by side a coach for long distances on the left, and then the double-decker for the local transportation.
It's 20 degrees. And now it's going to be 13. Now it's, wait, let's get to see it. You get to use it, should I show you? You get to use it with that knob. Yeah. You have to spin it around and the bus tips over. Let's see how.
Some improvement from the old models. This one is now 1973 model. So this is the bus which was used in 1987 to do a street parade when Coventry City won the FA Cup. They beat Tottenham by 3-2 in the FA Cup. So when they came home from Wembley, this is the bus they used, the open double-decker bus, to go in the streets of Coventry to celebrate. That's why you see it is adorned with Coventry City colors, and it is now here at the Coventry Transport Museum, and you can come here and you can enjoy the history. So history is preserved here. So you can also watch the highlights of the match on the day when Coventry won, beating Tottenham 3-2 at Wembley. Here we go to the tractors. These are Massey Ferguson tractors. You can see how they've evolved from this little one to this 1961 Massey Ferguson tractor, and then to this modern one, 2002 model. That's how things have changed, guys. If you see these tractors from different generations, the one on the middle, the little one, then the one on the left in the 1960s, then the one on the right after the millennium. We have another one there, 1961. I hope you have enjoyed the video. You have enjoyed this episode of Coventry Transport Museum. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, share, like, and let's grow the channel together. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next episode.